Hello, Kentucky friends. The setting of a new date for five-star point guard Deron Rippey Jr.'s official visit to Kentucky marks a strategic moment in Pope's recruiting process. Originally scheduled for August, the commitment was postponed due to heavy rains and flooding in New York City. But now, with his arrival confirmed for October 3rd to 5th, the program has the opportunity to impress one of the most coveted prospects in the 2026 class. And considering the praise Rippy has already given the coach and the program, this visit is a positive one. Deron Rippey Jr., ranked as the 12th best overall prospect in the country by the Rivals industry ranking, is a player whose profile combines refined technical skills with sharp competitive mindset. His position as the second-best point guard in his class reflects not only his natural talent, but also his ability to continually improve. The player's own father, Deron Rippey Sr., recently highlighted the KSR plus the significant improvements the young point guard has demonstrated in various facets of the game, from shooting to defense, including a heightened tactical understanding that makes him a true brain on the court. This combination of game intelligence, versatility, and competitive instinct makes Rippy a player any college program would love to have on its roster, and Kentucky knows it. What makes Rippy's presence in Lexington even more interesting is the clear synergy between his characteristics and Mark Pope's coaching style. The coach has been described by the player himself as a basketball genius and an expert in developing point guards. This positive perception, in fact, appears to be one of the factors that puts Kentucky in a privileged position in the competition for Rippy. The young point guard stated that his ability to think the game on the fly would be enhanced under Pope, reinforcing the idea that he sees Kentucky not just as a traditional destination, but as a place where he can grow and maximize his potential. Furthermore, it's worth noting that Rippy will be visiting Lexington at the same time as Christian Collins, another five-star forward. The coincidence of these visits is a clear sign that Kentucky is aggressively moving in the recruiting market, seeking to attract multiple high-level talents to form a robust 2026 class. For Pope, bringing in both players would be a masterstroke, cementing his reputation as a coach capable of reinventing the program without losing its appeal to high school stars. In Rippy's specific case, his arrival could represent an immediate transformation in the Wildcats' backcourt, providing the team with a dynamic playmaker and vocal leadership that are essential to compete at a high level. Rippy, however, isn't limiting his options to Kentucky. With a visiting schedule that includes giants like Miami, North Carolina, Alabama, Texas, Syracuse, Indiana, Tennessee, Kansas, and NC State, it's clear he's surrounded by elite options. But the fact that Kentucky remains on his list, even after the date adjustment, suggests the program still exerts influence over the country's top talent. Another point worth noting is Rippy's emphasis on bigger goals, like reaching the Final Four and winning a national championship. This winning mentality resonates deeply with the culture of Kentucky basketball, a program that has always prided itself on aiming for the top. At a time when Kentucky is looking to reaffirm its position as a dominant power in college basketball, bringing in a five-star point guard would be a clear sign that the project led by Pope is gaining traction. If Rippy decides to don the blue and white, it will not only strengthen the available roster, but also be something special. The possibility of hosting a Kentucky basketball game at Kroger Field, the University of Kentucky's home stadium for college football, may seem like a bold idea at first glance, but within it lies a clear reflection of the changes and ambitions taking place within the Wildcats. The proposal not only challenges traditional sports conventions, but also reflects a growing need for financial innovation in an increasingly competitive and costly sports landscape. Mitch Barnhart, known for his strategic and pragmatic vision, has faced significant challenges since the introduction of the revenue-sharing era in college athletics. With Champions Blue LLC, the entity created to ensure the program's financial sustainability, the department now needs to generate approximately $20 million annually to pay athletes. This new model requires creativity and flexibility, especially when it comes to maximizing the use of the largest available assets, and few are as valuable as Kroger Field. Rupp Arena, the historic home of Kentucky basketball, remains an icon of college sports. However, its capacity of approximately 20,000 seats, while impressive, limits the fundraising potential for single events. Kroger Field, on the other hand, with its massive capacity of over 60,000 people and potentially adaptable to even more, offers a unique opportunity to explore new avenues of engagement and revenue. The key question here is not simply would people show up, but rather, what possibilities are there that we haven't explored yet? Barnhart approached this question with a mix of caution and curiosity. He acknowledged that a basketball game in a football stadium poses significant logistical challenges, especially considering the slippery surface typical of events held in November. However, he also made it clear that the department needs to be open to trying new things. Why not try? Barnhart asked, in a tone that suggests he sees Kroger Field as more than just a football field. For him, the space can be a blank canvas where ambitious ideas can come to life. The example of the 2003 Basketball Bowl, when 78,129 people packed Ford Field to watch Kentucky take on Michigan State, serves as proof that basketball events in large stadiums have successful precedents. While Kroger Field is different in terms of structure and location, Kentucky fans' willingness to embrace unique and grand experiences has been demonstrated repeatedly. If the atmosphere is well planned and the event is treated as something special, perhaps even an annual classic against Louisville, there's a good chance BBN will respond enthusiastically. Furthermore, Barnhart expanded the conversation by mentioning other possibilities for Kroger Field, such as hosting an NHL Stadium Series game. The idea of transforming the stadium into an ice hockey arena during the winter is certainly bold, but also in line with the modern trend of utilizing large sports venues to attract diverse audiences. With nearby NHL franchises like Columbus and Nashville, the idea of a winter classic held in Kentucky could attract not only local fans, but also regional tourists, injecting even more money into the local economy. These ideas, both basketball and hockey at Kroger Field, represent much more than just attempts to increase revenue. They reflect a proactive mindset that seeks to reinvent the way college sports interact with their fans and sponsors. In a world where the live experience is increasingly valued, unique and memorable events can become important differentiators for programs like Kentucky. In the specific case of basketball, the rivalry with Louisville would be the ideal setting to test this idea. A game between these two teams at Kroger Field could become an annual or occasional event, capable of drawing crowds on both sides of the aisle. Furthermore, the magnitude of the event could attract national attention, further elevating the program's profile and generating additional revenue through television broadcasts, sponsorships, and ticket sales. Barnhart's stance on Kroger Field is a reminder that college athletics is constantly evolving. The boundaries between sports and venues are becoming more fluid, and athletics departments must be willing to explore new ideas to remain competitive. By opening Kroger Field to possibilities like basketball and hockey, Kentucky would not only be seeking financial solutions, but also reinforcing its position as an innovative sport. Leave your comments.